Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Nick Graham, Player Development. Very, very appreciative, very, very happy to have a good friend of mine, Dwight Thorne. Dwight has been a college basketball coach, an accomplished college basketball and professional player. And we just want to take time to just use this as a safe space, as a place to empower, support young coaches, developers, parents, club coaches, and obviously players as they reach their goals. You know, what breaks my heart, and the reason that I got into this is I felt like it was the best way that I could be used. I felt like there was a need with good people that knew basketball at a high level. That's how I got into player development as opposed to just going the traditional college coaching route. And so, like, yeah, this is just for you guys, whatever we can do to serve and support. If you have questions, man, make sure you reach out and we try to answer them. So with that being said, like I said, my partner here, Dwight Thorne, coached basketball, most recently University of Texas, Arlington, a mid-major in the basketball capital of the world, the Dallas Metroplex area in Arlington. So he's recruited players at a high level. And I think that we had a conversation that I think that every parent, every player needs to hear. So we'll just rehash that conversation. Dwight, you were explaining to some players that I work with what you look for when you are recruiting somebody. Because I think one is something they need to hear so they can prepare. Yeah. But the other part of it is I think it's something that they need to hear to, like, relieve the pressure. See, I think that a lot of people, they put too much pressure on themselves and they play in front of a coach. It's already hard enough. It is. And you said something to somebody. You said, I want to see how you respond to a bad game. I want to see you when you have a bad game or 100%. Something to that effect.
I think 100%, right? As just like you when you have a mate, you know, any kind of relationship that you're in, a partner, you want to know what that person's like when they're at their quote unquote their worst, right? Or they are in a position where they need a lot of support to see how they're going to react in bad times, not just when it's great. Same as with basketball players, same as with coaches, same as with people. So that's one aspect, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But I think the first thing is, yes, we're going to look at the talent, right? We want to know if a player has talent. Because if we don't think you have the talent, then it's going to be kind of tough to recruit you and sell you to our head coach if we don't think you can do the job that we may be asking you to do. But there's some instances where the talent is not always the first thing. Do you have positional size, right? How big, how athletic are you? How tough are you? How skilled are you? What's your talent level, like I just said? These are all things that kind of go into the pot. Those are things we can control, right? But then it's about your attitude. It's about your effort.
Right.
Are you coachable? Are you a good teammate? How are you when things aren't going right? All these things go into the pot. It's not just about if you can score 30 and your team lose, right? Can you be okay scoring 15, having 6 assists, 6 rebounds, having a great attitude, and having 45 high fives on your team?
Yeah.
That lets me know you're engaged with your teammates. That lets me know you can impact the game in multiple areas, multiple facets if you're not scoring. And then it lets me know that you want to win, right? And that's the most important thing I think that some people underestimate at the collegiate level. We recruit a lot because a kid may be 6'8" and he can do all these different things, but he may not be a winner, right? Winning, knowing how to win, expecting to win, and not accepting losing is a greatly underappreciated skill and value at the next level. Kendall Weaver, a guard who just started his first game at the University of Texas when they beat TCU yesterday. He's a winner. He has forced those guys to start him because of what he does on the basketball court. And scoring is not what they asked him to do. Right? So whatever it is that you do as a grassroots, high school, club basketball player, if you can shoot, make shots. If you rebound, rebound. If you defend, defend. And if you are a leader, be a leader. But I have to be able to see what you can do, right? And then be able to equate and see how it translates to the next level.
Yeah.
And it's not always scoring 30 points.
Yeah. So, and I just want to be clear. So you're saying, like, if you're saying, I want to see how you have I want to see you have a bad game. You're saying it's okay to have a bad game.
100%.
See what I'm saying? Where a lot of them, they put pressure. Oh, this coach is here. No. I know you're going to have a bad game. I know you have bad games. I don't expect you to. I just want to empower our audience or these parents or, you know, to help their kids. Hey, man, like, you just go be you.
100%.
If a coach has made time to come watch you play, that is an accomplishment in of itself. That means that the talent is at least,
where it should be at.
Yeah, where it should be at.
If a college coach is coming to watch you play, they have an understanding if they think that you're good or not.
Right.
They just
or
want to
they
see,
wouldn't be there.
Or they wouldn't be there. So they want to make sure what their eyes may have seen on film,
right,
what somebody may have told them, matches up with what they understand.
Right.
And if you are a good enough player and your talent is there, we're good enough. We can see that through the turnovers, through the difficulties.
You can see through the mistakes.
Right. We can see the fluidity and movement.
Right.
We can see the athleticism.
You can see somebody go 2 for 7 and be like, okay.
It looks like we can see all those things. And if we don't, then a lot of guys wouldn't be in the position that they're in.
Well, the other part of that is the same way that you can see through a loss or a missed shot or this or that. The other thing can be true.
I can see
through that you had 30 points, but you ain't getting that shot off at this level.
It's not efficient.
You can't finish in track. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. So really understanding, it breaks my heart, man, because I feel like there are a lot of people. We live in Colorado currently, and it is a state where it's not Dallas. We have a unique perspective. We've both been in Dallas. We've both been here. A lot of these players, right, they're on the margins as it relates to earning a scholarship. So they have to figure this out. Mm-hmm. They need to be empowered, and it breaks my heart to see so many people. They're doing maybe everything that's asked of them, but that's not what they need. The other part of that I think they need to understand is I'm recruiting you to fit. So when you talk about we've talked to the head coach, and there's a player, one of the first things they're going to ask, because they're trusting you. You wouldn't be on that staff if they didn't trust you as in your word is in terms of evaluating talent. Mm-hmm. Does he fit our culture?
100%.
And a lot of times I think at that level, culture is such an overused word, but
it's relevant.
Yeah, and in that space, because he has to fit whatever that is. Like, if you're at Houston, you better be tough. You better be team first. You better be physical, right? You better show up and you better have your hard hat on, and you better have a motor in everything you do.
You cannot be afraid to be coached.
Or you're not going to make it. Does he fit our culture? So when somebody's looking at you, so a lot of times you see these players, and you may have the 30 points and you may have done this, but you're showing me that I can't say, when my coach asked me that, it's because like you said, you ain't giving high fives. I came to you after the game, and the first thing you did was complain about how bad the refs were. Mm-hmm. You talked about how your teammates couldn't finish. Do you think that's somebody I want in my locker room?
Not at all. And
I tell kids all the time, it would be a hell of a thing for you to do all the stuff physically required, and because you had a bad attitude, don't let I'm too cool to give high fives and give encouragement and give chest bumps be the reason you don't get a scholarship.
100%.
That's wild to me.
Exactly. No, you're 100% right. Every team has a different culture. Every team has a different head coach, different leader, and what they're looking for. But I can tell you this. Skill set aside, if you're a great teammate, mm-hmm. if you have a fantastic attitude, if you're coachable, if you play hard and you're tough, you're going to give yourself an opportunity to earn a scholarship and be a productive player.
You're going to give yourself the best chance.
And then if you have all those things,
right,
I have no doubt in my mind that your work ethic is good,
right,
that you love playing basketball,
yeah,
and that you're going to do what needs to be done to become a better player.
Yeah.
Then
so
when you
now,
put all those things together, that's when you get
now special. I can project, because a lot of it's projection. Where is this kid going to be in 2 years?
Exactly.
And so because you have these things, I can go look my boss in the face and say, Coach, he's got some talent, and I know, but the way this kid is built, he's going to be a hell of a player for us in 2 years. So it's just one of the ways I say it to kids that I mentor in that space is man, you got to dominate those intangibles. You got to dominate those. Being a great teammate, being an extra effort guy, being alert. And the other part of it is I don't think that a lot of young players realize you can't turn that on and off.
No.
When I go watch a kid play, I can tell when you just putting up a front as opposed to this is who you really are. I don't realize my dad, as you know, my dad was one of the best recruiters in the country when he was a coach. And he told me little tricks of the trade, I'm going to get to the game early, be incognito and watch you. I'm watching you warm up. I'm watching your interactions with your teammates. I'm watching your parents
100%.
When the coach takes you out of the game.
100%.
Mom and dad. Mom and dad, don't be the reason that your kid doesn't get a scholarship? Because like I'm gonna let you like speak on that, but you evaluating the parent too,
100%.
right?
100%. There's an old saying where when the production is as big, when the production and the pain kind of is equal, everything's okay. When that pain outweighs the production is when you can be replaced. So 100%, when we're recruiting kids, we're recruiting their parents, we're recruiting their circle, we're recruiting their caregivers, because when things don't go the way they want them to be, and they're not always going to be great when they get into the team. They may not be playing as much, their role may be different, they may not be as successful, they may have trouble off the floor. We're going to be dealing with those parents, those caregivers, the people who have entrusted us to help their kid develop. So while those interactions may be hard sometimes, we don't want them to be irrational, and we don't want them to be interactions where we don't want to deal with the people that are entrusting us, right? So we're 100% evaluating the parents and the people around the kid at all times.
Yeah, and I think that another thing when you talk about, because you're gonna do your due diligence, right? And here's the thing, is you're talking to the high school coach, you're talking to the club coach, and a lot of times what I did and what my dad taught me is go talk to the assistant JV coach, because nobody really talks to him. So like if you get to talk to him, he's just gonna be so happy somebody so esteemed is talking to him, and he gonna tell you everything you need to know, and he gonna keep it funky with you. So just understand, mom and dad, like when you blow up on that club team coach and you blow up on this coach and you're complaining and you're doing that, man, that could come back and cost you as it relates to why my kid isn't getting recruited. Because I've heard, man, hey, good luck with Joe's parents, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
They're a lot to deal with.
I also evaluate how kids treat their parents. Yeah. Right? How they treat their mothers, their grandmothers, and the people around
siblings,
them. Yeah. Siblings, because
if you can't lead your little brother, how you gonna lead a grown man?
100%. So everything is being evaluated when you're trying to put yourself in position to earn a scholarship, to be entrusted with that responsibility. And it's not just what you do on a basketball court, it's also what you do off the floor. And to your point about talking to the assistant JV coach, there's been instances where I've talked to security guards or janitors or guidance counselors, right? So that you can get a true evaluation of what this kid is like off the basketball floor, with no biases and no agendas, but they're looking to continue to tell the truth and help this young person. So every interaction you have, it can be one of those interactions that either helps you or hurts you. Right. But if you are the person that you're trying to be, then you'll be just fine.
Man, that's so good. I appreciate it. I want to pivot it to, one, take this opportunity to celebrate, like my book Underdog is about, celebrating successful underdogs and just using people's successful stories to be influenced. And I actually talk about Tyrese Maxey in the book. And I just want to, God has blessed me, man. Martin Luther King says that privilege is given to us so we can use that privilege to help people that don't have those privileges. I've had the privilege of living my whole life around high-level basketball. And I just understand that's not for me to flex and brag and post a picture of me and Tyrese Maxey or Tyrese Haliburton, but to use that. The thing is with both of them, I saw them before the come up, so to speak. And the habits that they have, you know what I mean? I don't know if anybody watching is going to be the next Trae Young, Tyrese Haliburton, or Tyrese Maxey, but I know the habits that they had. And for me, it's dope that Tyrese Haliburton and Tyrese Maxey are these young, amazing superstars, $200 million contracts and all that. But that's crazy to me.
It is.
But I got to see what allowed them. What allowed them, what roots did they have to develop the fruit of being a multimillionaire and an NBA All-Star at such a young age? And both of them had this quality that I challenge, and I hope that any parent does for their kid as a basketball player. Both of them had such an excitement to get better. Whenever they're in the gym, I posted a clip of me and Tyrese to shout him out and celebrate his success. And he's so happy just to be in the gym. It's a Tuesday, Monday, whatever. He'd be in the gym at 5 a.m. He's happy. It is like he never took a moment of development for granted. And he was a great listener, and he had such great respect for anybody that took the time to invest in making him a better basketball player. And Tyrese Haliburton is the same way, the exact same way. They had a maniacal work ethic, right? They were able to ground out distractions, but their attitude and their zest and their vibe for just being a gym rat was unbelievable. So like my challenge for anybody watching is to never be in the gym. Like Kelvin Sampson says, he's like his best player, his point guard, his coach are never allowed to have a bad day. Like, how can you be in the gym and you can just be like, that's a blessing. So, you know, that was my takeaway from being around them. And that's what I could give anybody that aspires to do something great in basketball like they did. I think it starts there, just having that great attitude.
100%, I agree with you on every account what you just said. I think the biggest thing that I'll add to that is the guys who are NBA players and are high-level pros are pros for a reason. There's something different about them.
There you go.
Whether it be their attitude, it be their maniacal work ethic, it be their ability to be selfish when it's time to be selfish, or it just be their overall disposition. The talent level in the NBA. Once you get higher, it becomes thinner and thinner.
Yep.
Right. The guys who in the NBA on the end of the bench can produce at a high level when they're playing against regular people. Can produce at a high level if they get opportunities in the NBA. That's a different discussion for a different day. But the guys who become really, really good and become superstars, it's opportunity, it's timing, but it's work ethic, it's mentality, it's determination. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of the intangibles that you have to dominate, like you talked about earlier. So why not start at a young age if that's truly one of your goals, to dominate those intangibles and see how far you can go?
No doubt. No doubt. Hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate you giving your time, man. Like I said, we are going to just try to do this as much as we can. We don't want anything from this but to just help, man. There's so much, I think, that everybody's in agreement with competitive youth sports. Our passion, of course, basketball. There are a lot of problems. So we can sit up here and just get on our soapbox and be a part of the problem, or we can make a small yet significant contribution to being a part of the solution, and that's what it is. So if there's any questions or any issues you want us to address, man, tap in and just hit us up. I'm gonna leave. You can feel free to join. I'm gonna leave a parting tip for young players. And my parting tip this week is to empower yourself, learn how to work on your game. I go to gyms all over the place and I see a lot of hardworking kids, but they're not working on the right stuff the right way. I tell kids all the time, you got to work frequent, you got to work hard, you got to work focused. And I think that a lot of players don't know what to work on, so they can't work focused. Mm-hmm. So empower yourself, get with people that really understand the game, because what you're doing has to translate. We've both worked out NBA players. We've both worked out college players. When I was at Iowa State, I was in charge of our player development, and I watched film of our games specific for this guy, mm-hmm. and had a workout for each one of them based on what they're capable of within the framework of our system. Mm-hmm. I'm not working on post-ups with Donovan Jackson that's 6'1" and 160 pounds. That's just a waste of time. So just understand your game and understand how to work in a way where it translates.
The one thing I add to that is you got Mike Procopio, right, is a guy who I work with who's been an NBA player development coach for many, many years. I worked with him this summer, and I was working with him and Tim Martin. And he said something about dominate simple, right? That was his thing, is dominate simple. And I just challenge guys and young players to dominate the simplistic things. Can you dribble with your left hand for a minute constantly and not be able to mess it up, right? Can you make a regular left-handed layup? Can you make a right-handed layup? And until you can do the simple things, it's hard for you to master the more complicated progression. So
almost like a math class.
Exactly, right? Like you can't go into trigonometry if you can't add 2 + 2.
Right.
Right? You don't need to be shooting 35-foot threes, right?
Yeah.
If you can't make a pull-up jump shot.
There you go.
That's my opinion. Everybody's is different. But in order for you to continue to progress and be a good player, you have to be able to dominate the simple things first, and then you build.
Yeah.
So.
And what up, Tim Martin? A beautiful struggle. Hey, man, I need a shirt too. I appreciate it, man. We'll see y'all next time.